Hey guys, this is Echo Soundworks and you're checking out a Mix Essentials tip and trick video for ADSR. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use and how you can utilize mid-side equalization in place of panning to create some really nice separation in your mix, and more specifically, the frequencies in your mix. Now, panning is an important part of music and mixing and music production. But sometimes I feel like we as producers or DJs or engineers will feel like we have to pan things out left and right because that's what you need to do. Well, there are certain instances where that just won't work. For instance, let's say you're working in a very minimalistic track. Let's say it's just a bass, you have kick, drums, the basic drums, right? Kick, snares, hats, maybe a couple claps, some percussion sounds. Now, all the percussion sounds could be panned out, left and right, same with the hi-hats. But maybe you have a bass and a sub bass and a lead, and that's it. Maybe it's a genre that doesn't have a bunch of synth stacks, like a bunch of chord stacks, maybe like progressive or dubstep or trap. What do you do then? How do you create the separation, and how do you make enough room in your mix so everything can kind of be centered or stereoed, or not hard left and right panning, but how do you get that clarity? Well, the answer is mid-side EQ. So this video is going to look at some mid-side EQ techniques that I like to use personally, but we're also going to learn some cool things, hopefully, in FabFilter Pro Q. So let's play this little demo right now, and it's unmixed. There's literally a groove coming from Maschine. So nothing's stemmed out. It's all from Maschine. We have an 808 right here. And then we have the Accent 808 doing the little rolls right here. So those are two different 808s. Okay. And then we have the lead coming from Massive. Okay, so let's play this together with the drums. Okay, so what you might think to do is, okay, the sub's going to be in the middle, right? Kick's going to be in the middle, all that stuff. Let's mute the drums for now. So we have two sub basses basically acting as one bass. Those are going to have to be in the middle. You can't pan those. So we only have one massive instrument. And in a genre like OVO, future R&B, this style of hip hop, I'm not going to have a lot of other synth sounds in here. I might have some accent sounds, but it's mainly going to be this and the vocalist, especially in the verses. So what do you do to get that separation? Because this sound isn't that bright. That's this genre where it's not a really bright sounding synth. But what do we do to get it to sound a little bit clearer? Well, if we look at the analyzer here, spectrum analyzer, there's so much low end in this sound that's just literally just masking or fighting for space with these sub frequencies that are in the middle. So the option is to carve those out with some mid-side EQ. Now there's not a lot of high either. Maybe we can boost some of the high frequencies in the stereo field to give it a little bit wider mix appeal. Now we could just, what some people might jump to do is they might just do this. They might pan this left and right and listen like this. Now that sounds cool, but it'll actually sound better, and we'll look at this in the tail end of this little video here. It'll actually sound a little bit better once you do the mid-side equalization, and then you don't have to do hard pans left and right. You can do more of a tailored pan to maybe fit the rest of your track or the vocals that you record. So let's dive into this right now. I'm going to be using FabFilter Pro Q. You can do this in other equalizers, but the reason why I like using FabFilter Pro Q is it's just really easy to do the edits that I want to do. It's really easy to dial in and do the mid-side. So I'm going to load up the FabFilter Pro Q2 plugin, go down to the bottom and choose mid-side. So what we're going to do now, it's all that low information. We don't want that. So we're going to do a low cut here. Make sure it says low cut if you have the Pro Q2, which is one of the best EQs on the market. If you don't have it, definitely look into getting it. What we're going to do here is we're going to cut this. Okay, right now we're on mid and side. Well, the cool thing with this is if I control click or right click, I can do stereo placement. Right now it's stereo. So this is a stereo sound coming from Massive. You can see that right there. I don't want it affecting the stereo image. I want it affecting the whole stereo sound. I want it affecting the middle of this stereo sound because that's what's conflicting with my sub bass. So I'm going to right click on this and we are going to do mid. So now if I solo this, that's all the low end frequencies that was in the middle. Okay, I don't need that because I have this right here. So this is just gonna pair nicer with this now. So if I solo, let's solo this massive section that we took out, the low frequencies of the mid with this sub bass. Do you hear how it's just fighting for space? Okay, so that's the first thing that we're doing. We're taking that out of the middle of the frequencies, which is really nice. Okay, so that's what I did in this other instance of the Pro Q. I took out this low end right here in the middle with solo this. And then what I did was I jumped down and I double clicked and created another band, and I dipped that down in the stereo field as well. So I right clicked again, did stereo placement in stereo. Do you see how that's out left and right? Okay, so now we're eliminating that really nasty, just muddy frequencies from our mix without having to pan. So when I do pan this out now left and right, if I want to, right, it's removing that out of the left and right signal already. So like I just said a few minutes ago or a minute ago, I don't even know. When we do if you do copy and paste and pan, it'll be a little bit cleaner, a little bit clearer. Then what I did was I went up to the top end of my mix, and in the stereo field, I boosted those frequencies because this genre, which this one right now is track, you see right here, those are both stereo. We have stereo and side. So I'm boosting the side frequencies and the stereo frequencies up high. Okay, and I'm doing that because there's not a lot of high frequency content in this track other than the hi-hats. And that's kind of a theme with a few different genres of music right now, especially with pop, future R&B, hip hop. They're very mid-heavy mixes. And so if we solo these higher frequencies here, they're not necessarily that loud, but what they do is that if we can always push the volume of these a little bit and get a little bit more of a higher frequency coming through our mix. Okay? And that will help the sound kind of pop out and stand out and not lose clarity. So let's listen to this together now. Okay, so there it is with the FabFilter Pro Q2, some mid-side, stereo, all those edits going on at once using that right click and stereo placement for each band. That is on and off. So it still has that dark, deep OVO feel, but we didn't add we didn't add too much high end to make it lose its kind of genre appeal. So now I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pan this out to about 40 left and right. And we might turn the left one down a little bit. And that's a lovely little glitch from Massive. Let's do that one more time. Copy and paste the track. There we go. Okay, so those are out left and right. You might be wondering, why does that matter? Well, if we solo these frequencies again, we took that out. There's still middle frequencies occurring and audio occurring in the middle of the stereo field because it's a stereo sound. We didn't do hard pan. So this sounds a lot cleaner and clearer now. And I might even have some better stereo imaging going on. It's pretty wide. So let's now go to the subs and see if we can apply the same technique. So what I'm going to do here is we'll do this from scratch. We'll recall the default. So this is my main 808. And there's a lot of stuff going on here, but there's some stuff going on out in the higher end of the frequency spectrum. More specifically, these mids, and that's going to fight with this lead synth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on mid side again. We're going to click a band right here, Actually, we're going to do a high pass. And what we're going to do is we're going to disable that one. Actually, just delete it. And then we're going to go here and we're going to do a high. So I'm going to take out all those frequencies, but I want it happening at the side. Okay, because that is a sound that we don't necessarily need in this specific sound, because this is the 808, this is all center. Let's take out some of those frequencies that will then kind of be conflicting with the lead synth. All right, so we can bring back in the drums now. So you can see that it sounds cleaner, clearer, a little bit crisper. If we take off everything we did, just pan this back to the middle, take this back, listen to it. It's not as clear as it is, and if you add a little bit of pan with these instruments, like I said, the hard pans I don't like doing in this genre specifically with the synths, because it gets a little bit muddy. But now I don't have to do the hard pans because we've taken out the frequencies. We've been really specific using the mid-side EQ inside of the FabFilter Pro Q, using the right clicks and the stereo placement. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm Echo Soundworks. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time.